Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining today's Jira training session. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to add or remove custom field or even system field from your screen in Jira. So right now, you would need to log on to your project. Before we start, please remember that for you to be able to have access to your screens, you would need to be a project administrator. Okay, so if you're not a project administrator, you would need to be added to the project as an administrator to be able to go in and do any sort of modification required for your project. Once you've logged on to your project in Jira, you would need to go into the project setting. And once you click on the project setting, then you're looking to go into the screen part of things, which you can find under issues. Okay, so once you click on issues, you wait for it to load, it opens up. Once it's opened up, you will click on the screen, either the create, the edit, and the view. Bear in mind that if what you can see on my screen now is showing you that I do have the same screen being used for my create, edit, and view. But remember, in some instances, you might have a different screen for your edit and a different screen for your create. So please make sure you look through it to make sure that whatever changes you're applying or adding or removing, you're applying it to the right screen. So in this instance, it's all the same. So whichever one I make the changes to, it's going to be fine. Also, always remember to look at the shared to make sure that whatever changes you're making on the screen is going to be having impact on 7 projects within the organization. So always check to make sure that you're happy that whatever changes you're making is going to be okay if applied to these 7 projects it's sharing the same configuration with. So I'm going to be clicking on the create. You can click on any one of it because it's all the same. But if you had different create and edit, you would need to know if the custom fields you're trying to add or remove, do you want to apply that to the create screen or the edit screen? The reason sometimes you have the difference could be that there is an automation or a rule that has been put in place or some conditions that has been put in place to manage the create and edit stream, so that when you're creating, you have certain privileges or you can do certain things. And then when you're editing your fields or your screens, you want some information restricted, or you have more information that you're requiring. So it literally depends on the reason why it has been set up that way. By default in Jira, when you're creating a screen, it gives you, the create, edit, and view screen would always be the same. But in some instances, you can modify that to have different screens depending on what you're trying to achieve. So in here, once you've clicked on the screen, you can see all the fields that you have. So for you to add a new custom field, all you would need to do is click on the search button you would always find at the bottom of the screen, and then look for whatever screen you're trying to add. Say, for example, I'm trying to add like a baseline date to my screen. So baseline dates, once it comes up from the drop down, click on it, and that's it being added into the screen. That's literally what you need to do. Okay. If I want to remove a field, what you would need to do is just hover over whichever field you're trying to remove. Say, for example, I'm trying to remove sprint. Once you hover over it, you can see on the right hand side, it gives you the option to remove. Once you click on the remove, it literally takes that off the screen for you as well. In some instances, certain custom fields are already defined for certain projects. So if you've added the baseline date to your screen, and then I'm going into, say I'm going to create an issue within that project, for example. So I'll call this testing 111, and I click on the baseline date. You can see the baseline date is visible for me to use on this project. In some cases, you might not see the baseline date showing on your screen. So that would mean you would need to go to the configuration, the configuration of the field itself to make sure that your project is added to the context of that field. In most cases, you don't have to, but some custom fields are created because specific team or projects have requested for it, and they solely are using that field. So if you want to then reuse their own field for your own purpose, you would need to make sure that your project is added to their context, or you're creating a context for yourself at the back end to make it available for your team to use as well. In my subsequent videos, I'm going to be showing you how to, create context for an already existing field as well. So once you've done this, yes, you can see that the baseline is already showing. So that's what we want. So we can then go back and, it's already showing, and then you can just go back to the project and to your team, and it's ready for your team to start using. So that's how you add a custom field and also remove a custom or system field from your screen if it's required or not required. So that's how you do it. So thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video today, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.